Hey Cowboys Nation, let's go for another round of news from America's team. Watch until the end so you don't miss any news and sign up to stay tuned for everything that comes out about the Cowboys. Cowboys' CeeDee Lamb is fast becoming an Eagle killer. For all the talk about Dak Prescott's 8-4 record against the Eagles, CeeDee Lamb could soon become public enemy number one in Philadelphia. The Eagles' secondary has struggled this season. In 2022, they led the league by allowing only 179.8 passing yards per game. This year, they're allowing 260.3 yards per game, the fourth highest number in the league. Opposing wide receivers fill the stat sheet on a weekly basis, and none more so Lamb. Back in Week 9, Lamb had 11 catches for a career-high 191 yards against the Eagles. To put that in perspective, 6 different players caught a pass for Philadelphia that day, but collectively, they outgained Lamb by 16 yards. Dallas somehow lost the game 28-23, but Lamb certainly put the Eagles on notice. Lamb's performance that day was no fluke. A week earlier, he also set a career high with 158 yards against the Rams. But if Philly fans have any doubt, they should check out last year's box scores. On Christmas Eve, the Cowboys and Eagles met for the next-to-last game of the 2022 regular season. This time, Dallas got the win thanks to 120 yards and a pair of touchdowns from Lamb. Running back Tony Pollard was the team's second leading receiver with 61 yards, so in a game that saw 2 Eagles receivers, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, also top 100 yards, it's fair to say Lamb carried the team that day. His 36-yard touchdown pass in the second quarter was 3 yards shy of his season high but nowhere near the longest catch of his career. Lamb's longest reception came during his rookie season, and you'll never guess who it came against. While 100-yard games and 1,000-yard seasons have become the norm for the fourth-year receiver, he just missed the latter with 935 yards back in 2020. Wide receiver Amari Cooper led the team with 1,114 yards that year, but Lamb's 52-yard grab against Philadelphia in Week 16 remains the longest catch of his career. Can he top it this week when the Eagles visit AT&T Stadium? Now that Philadelphia has allowed a 100-yard receiver in 4 of its last 5 games, his chances are certainly good. Lamb seems to have the Eagles' number, and he'll likely put up big numbers this Sunday night. The Dallas Cowboys rumors show the team appears to have their franchise quarterback in Dak Prescott. Things are far less certain for the Seattle Seahawks with Geno Smith's inconsistent play in 2023. Prescott not only cemented his status as the Cowboys' QB1 but is in the NFL MVP conversation. Dallas still faces a decision for the future of the position. Prescott, Cooper Rush and Trey Lance are all under contract for 2024. Prescott is slated to have a massive $59.4 million cap hit next season. This puts pressure on the Cowboys' front office to sign the signal caller to an extension. Lance will have a $5.3 million cap hit in 2024 as part of a 4-year, $34 million rookie contract. Rush is more affordable with a $2.8 million cap hit next season as part of a 2-year, $5 million deal. These factors combined with the uncertainty in Seattle has 33rd team's Connor Livesay suggesting the two teams could be trade partners for Lance. Let's examine why a trade could work for both teams. Cowboys rumors. Dallas may be able to net a nice return in a Trey Lance trade. Lance likely still has some juice around the NFL given the quarterback is less than 3 years removed from being the number 3 pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. Heading into the season, the Cowboys gave up a 4th-round pick to the 49ers to add Lance as their 3rd quarterback. Quarterback play around the NFL is less than stellar with several teams dealing with injuries and uncertainty. Lance has yet to take a snap for Dallas but still has trade value. Livesay labels the Seahawks, Saints and Vikings as potential suitors in a trade for Lance. Dallas has the luxury of having Rush on the roster who could continue as Prescott's backup in 2024. While Dallas could slide Lance into the QB2 role next season, Rush is under contract for just $2.87 million against the cap, according to Spotrac. Livesey wrote in a December 8, 2023 feature titled, Surprising NFL Players Who Could Be Traded This Offseason. If the Cowboys stick with Rush at QB2, they could start calling quarterback-needy teams that missed out on Caleb Williams, Drake May and Jaden Daniels in the 2024 NFL Draft. Lance might raise the ceiling on Dallas' QB2 spot, but the Cowboys could get a better return for Lance than what they paid from teams such as the Minnesota Vikings, New Orleans Saints or Seattle Seahawks. If those teams miss out on the top passers in the draft, they could see Lance as a viable option. Cowboys HC sends grateful message to his staff. With 6 wins in their last 7 games, the Dallas Cowboys have really started to hit their stride at just the right time, with only 5 regular season games left to be played in the 2023 campaign. Unfortunately for Dallas, head coach Mike McCarthy had a bit of a medical emergency ahead of Week 14's showdown against the division rival Philadelphia Eagles, as he had to undergo surgery to take care of acute appendicitis. The sudden and unexpected surgery that McCarthy had to undergo this week put his presence on the sideline for arguably the most important game of the season in jeopardy, as it was uncertain whether he'd be able to help his team in person when Dallas plays host to Philadelphia on Sunday. Fortunately, it appears that McCarthy will be okay in time to be on the sideline for Week 14's epic NFC East showdown at AT&T Stadium, which is obviously great news for Dallas and its head coach. As McCarthy continues to recover ahead of Sunday's game, he showed his appreciation for those who helped him get through this week considering the circumstances, according to ESPN's Ed Werder. With McCarthy getting back to business as usual in Dallas, the task remains the same for America's team, with the team hosting Jalen Hurts and company in what will be a statement game for both teams. The Eagles are coming off a devastating loss to the San Francisco 49ers last week, while the Cowboys will be looking to avenge their loss to Philadelphia a few weeks ago. Dak Prescott makes clear statement on pursuing greatness. The Dallas Cowboys have arguably their best team in decades as they're threatening to overtake the NFC during the 2023 NFL season. After a slow start to the season, the Cowboys have found their groove on both sides of the field and have an excellent chance to bolster their chances of claiming the number 1 overall seed if they can beat the Philadelphia Eagles in Week 14. Dallas' recent success has been largely in part due to Dak Prescott, who's playing the best football of his career. Prescott took some time to figure out the offense under head coach Mike McCarthy but is now firing on all cylinders as he's got complete control of the system. There were questions about whether or not Prescott could lead the team to a Super Bowl, but he's undoubtedly put any of those concerns to rest. The quarterback has always believed in his abilities and thinks that he and the team can go far together via John Makota of The Athletic. There's a lot more in that direction that's in my head. I know the greatness is right there in front of me. We've got an amazing team here, Prescott said. Every player has to be confident in themselves in order to be successful at the professional level, and it seems that Prescott never wavered despite some bumps along the way. The Cowboys are in the position they're in now because of how well Prescott has been playing, and he can further solidify his standing as one of the best quarterbacks in the league with a win over the Eagles.